Hey, it's Kelly. Welcome back to my channel where we talk all about gentle skincare, sometimes self-care, and today we are talking this or that. I've got two battles for you today, one between Purito and Viegano. This is the battle of the Bakuchiol serums. Then we're going to move over to Make Prem and Some by Me for the Panthenol serum showdown. So if you're so ready, give the video a big thumbs up and let's jump right in. First up, the Bakuchiol battle. This is Purito Timeless Bloom Revitalizing Serum versus Viegano Bakuchiol plus Tocopherol Serum. So first, let's talk Bakuchiol because this is an ingredient that is super fun to say, but it's also an ingredient that really started to get popular in the last couple of years, and a lot of people refer to it as an alternative to retinol, and it is often referred to as phytoretinol. It is not technically a retinoid. It is not derived from vitamin A. It's actually derived from a plant called Bakuchiol, which actually has really important roots in Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine. Now, where Bakuchiol and retinol do have some similarities is the fact that they're both cell communicating ingredients. Now, this is exciting because this means that this ingredient has the ability to communicate to our skin cells to do better, to act more youthful. And it does result in benefits that can be similar to retinol. Bakuchiol can signal to our skin to stimulate more collagen production, and it also can help to downregulate enzymes that destroy our collagen structure. So it stimulates collagen, but also protects it. It can also help to reveal like brighter, smoother, younger looking skin because it helps to shed the dead skin cells off the skin. It has anti-inflammation and antibacterial properties, making it really helpful for acne-prone skin. And it also has some gentle sebum regulating properties too. So much like retinol, where we get the well-aging benefits and the anti-acne benefits, Bakuchiol does bring similar benefits to the table, but in a much gentler package. It just doesn't come with the side effects like drying, peeling skin, or really irritated skin. It's an incredibly gentle ingredient. So let's start off with the Purito Timeless Bloom Revitalizing Serum. So this says it has 10,000 parts per million of Bakuchiol. Now, this is a tricky marketing tactic. I am not singling out Purito for this because they're not the only brand that does this. It's really widespread in kbeauty, and I know you've seen this before. And it is kind of tricky because we see 10,000 parts per million, and I don't know about you, but like my brain just converts that to 10%. Like it just fills in the blank. I'm like, oh, 10% of Bakuchiol, that's a lot. It's not. It actually is 1%. 1% of Bakuchiol is not a small amount by any means. And in fact, you know, when we study Bakuchiol in clinical studies and we're looking for the benefits, what does it do for skin? The amounts that are used in those studies that are showing the benefits we know about Bakuchiol, it's studied between 0.5% and 1%. They have paired it alongside of acetylhexapeptide 8. You may also know this peptide under the trade name Argireline. So this is a really great peptide that brings a pretty instant firming sort of effect to the skin, kind of a lifting effect. It is a peptide that is classified as a Botox peptide, and so it does bring a really nice effect to the skin, but it is not a cell communicating ingredient like Bakuchiol. The effects that it has on the skin, you have to keep using the ingredient to get the effects. Once you stop using it, it will go away. It's not really altering the protein structure of our skin like Bakuchiol or retinoids would. The other ingredients that I want to single out here include the plant extracts: lavender, rosemary, oregano, and thyme. This sounds like a Simon and Garfunkel song. These plant extracts do impart scent. It doesn't hang around. It's not super strong, but you will notice it on application. And I have this suspicion that Bakuchiol is like not a great smelling ingredient to begin with. So it makes sense that they would want to kind of neutralize that. However, I always like to point out with plant extracts, especially these that impart scent, there is always the potential for it to irritate sensitive skin. So the texture here is interesting because as you can see, this is a creamy serum. It does actually have a good amount of hydration to it, and I think an equal amount of balancing moisture to it as well. And so as you're applying this to your skin, you're going to feel the hydration, and then as it's absorbing, you're going to get that lighter layer of moisture. But what's kind of interesting is once it's fully absorbing into your skin, once that moisture really settles into your skin, what was feeling like a lighter weight type, I mean, I know it's creamy, but it does actually feel kind of lighter because of that hydration effect that you get immediately. It It feels thinner and lighter on the skin, but as it really starts to absorb and really starts to dry on your skin, it actually does feel a little bit closer to medium weight. I also felt like there was just a little slip of like a tiny whisper of richness to this, because there's different qualities to moisture in my opinion and in my experience. There's different types of moisture out there, and this is bordering a little closer. The richness feels slightly like an oil. It's not greasy. It doesn't leave you shiny. And like I said, this borders on light medium, so it's not super heavy on the skin, but I thought it was really interesting that there's just that little rich finish to this that made this feel a little bit heftier on the skin than I was expecting. So next, let's talk about the Viegano Bakuchiol and Tocopherol serum. And so this does contain bakuchiol, but they don't play any of the tricks. They don't say it has, X amount of parts per million. They don't actually tell you how much bakuchiol is in here, which I know is bothersome to some people. It doesn't bug me that much. I do believe that we're within that 0.5 to 1% range. And then they have combined it with tocopherol, which is also known as vitamin E, which is a nice strong antioxidant for the skin. So they're really kind of taking that well-aging approach with the bakuchiol and marrying it with a nice strong antioxidant that really helps to protect this skin. Now, this formula also does feature a peptide. They are using palmitoyl tripeptide 5, which is also known as Syncol. Now, this peptide helps to protect collagen, but also boost collagen production on the skin. And it also helps with texture of the skin. So it's a really interesting combination here. Bakuchiol helps to stimulate collagen. And then this peptide that they're using, Syncol, also kind of helps to boost up that collagen and protect it at the same time. Plus the protective capabilities of antioxidants. You can really see that they've got their eye on the prize when it comes to well aging with how they're using bakuchiol in this serum. Now, the texture is creamy and it looks really similar to the Purito serum, but where Purito felt like 50% hydration and 50% moisture on the skin, Viegano really is feeling a little closer to 75% hydration with 25% moisture. There's a little less moisture in here and it feels a little bit more refreshing and hydrating on the skin. And this definitely does not dry thicker or feel like there's a rich finish at the end of this. It definitely feels how it looks. It hydrates the skin. It has just the tiniest bit of plumpness to it in a nice breathable light layer. I did notice a tiny, I really got to shove my nose in there to get the scent here, but I did notice a tiny woodsy, smoky kind of smell. I did mention earlier, I think bakuchiol may just have kind of an odd smell to it. And I think that's kind of what Purito is trying to neutralize with the plant extracts, where Viegano has not done that. And so I'm getting a little hint of that. And it is kind of odd to almost be like, is that like a smoky smell when I put my skincare on? But it's really, really, really it is so minimal. I think many people probably won't even pick up on it. It's my job to shove my nose into skincare and pick up on it for you. So this or that. And I think for a lot of people, the fact that Purito discloses how much bakuchiol is being used, although it's a little tricky, they do disclose that there is 1% of bakuchiol in here. And I know that that is valuable information for a lot of people. And so the this or that battle kind of ended at knowing how much is in the serum. And I can't argue that. I totally get it. However, my this or that winner is Viegano. Actually, surprisingly, I did not think this was going to be the winner, but I really do favor this one a lot more than the Purito serum. And there's a couple of reasons why. As I mentioned, the known percentage of Purito, it is 1%. But I think when we're talking about, effective percentages being so low to begin with Viegano, I am confident that we are in the 0.5 to 1% range. Now, that may not be true, confidence for everybody, but for me personally, I feel really good about the bakuchiol in here. And I definitely saw results using this serum. It definitely is so gentle, which I really do appreciate because I am not only a sensitive skin person, sensitive skin having person, but I also do use tretinoin, which makes it really difficult for me to test out other types of retinoids or even exfoliants truly. So I actually really appreciate that bakuchiol does deliver on that gentle claim. But I did notice an uptick in my skin clarity. I think not even just a brightness in my skin, but a smoothness in my skin, a healthiness within my skin, just a little bit of that glow up. I think that we all want our serums to give our skin, and especially an ingredient like bakuchiol that can not only have those meaningful well-aging benefits, but really does promise to revitalize the skin skin and help to give the glow up. I am a little bit more intrigued by the formula of Viegano. I like that they're using that synchol peptide rather than acetohexapeptide 8. Nothing against it. I love that peptide. I just like that they're using a collagen boosting and protecting peptide alongside of the Bakuchiol rather than something that can give you some nice kind of vanity results, honestly, but maybe isn't doing anything super meaningful for your long-term while aging journey. And I had to point out the plant extracts because, you know, to be completely honest with you, I don't like to hone in and really stress every single little potential irritant in every formula. I find it actually really stressful. But that being said, I do know that like we've grown this community around gentle skincare. And I know so many of you guys do have those skin sensitivities and you really need me to point these things out. And so I am going to stress it for a second because the plant extracts in Purito, the lavender, the rosemary, the thyme, the oregano, these definitely have fragrant compounds in them. While they're not essential oils, they're on their way to being essential oils. They definitely have those fragrant compounds that can potentially irritate the skin. And when I was testing out Purito, I do feel like it helped. Like I felt like it like made my skin look nice at first. But as I continued to use this, I did notice redness on my skin, and it didn't happen immediately, but it was like 3 hours after I would apply this. All of a sudden I'm like noticing that your skin just has this like flush of red, especially around the cheeks and the chin area. I'm like, why is my skin so red? And it looks irritated. It didn't feel necessarily irritated, but it was like kind of like on its way. You know what I mean? And so I'm going to guess the plant extracts in there, that little bit of fragrance, not enough for a full blown flare up, right? But it's just enough to kind of start that process, that little bit of inflammation within my skin. And so I really do need to point out if something bothered my sensitive skin, if we're going to be able to trace it back to some potential irritants, my guess is going to be the plant extract. So for sensitive skin, not a great choice. Next up, our Panthenol Serum Showdown. This is the Some by Me Beta Panthenol Repair Serum versus the Make Prem Comfort Me Panthenol Moisture Essence. So let's talk about Panthenol, also known as provitamin B5. So this is a beautiful humectant that really helps to attract and bind water to the skin. And in the whole world of humectants, I think that, you know, Panthenol is very special in the fact that it has additional benefits beyond just hydrating the skin. It also helps our skin hold onto that hydration more than just binding hydration to the skin. Panthenol actually really helps to fortify our skin's lipid layer, aka our moisture barrier. And you know, that's really truly what hugs hydration into the skin. And when that barrier and that lipid layer are lacking, you know, that is when the hydration is able to escape through our skin, causing transepidermal water loss and that dehydrated feeling on your skin. Panthenol also has some anti-inflammation benefits too. And I think that's why whenever I use anything that has like a good amount of Panthenol in it, there's always kind of that soothing, calming effect that like, it's not just the hydration, it's also helping to soothe inflammation on the skin. And now, interestingly, Panthenol can also help with the proliferation of fibroblasts, which is actually a type of skin cell that helps with collagen on our skin. So let's talk about the Some by Me Beta Panthenol Repair Serum. We have 5% of Panthenol in here, and then we have 0.5% of beta sitosterol. Now, this is a plant sterol that is really similar to cholesterol. Now, that piques my interest because what am I always calling the holy trinity for your skin barrier? Ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids. So interestingly, as we look through the ingredients list, we see 5 different types of ceramides. We also have phytosphingosine, which is a precursor to ceramides. We have the beta sitosterol, which is like cholesterol, and we do have fatty acid content in here. And so, you know, Panthenol, it's a humectant, but it has barrier supportive capabilities. Plus, we essentially have the holy trinity here, right? You can see that the focus of this serum really is about strengthening your skin barrier. And Some by Me has included some probiotic content in here that is meant to really help with your skin's microbiome. And that actually does have an intimate relationship with your skin barrier. You do need a healthy microbiome and a healthy barrier. They do actually work in tandem together. And a lot of their processes and a lot of what they do for the skin actually do overlap. I do have a video on this. So definitely check that out if you want to learn a little bit more. Microbiome skincare is still very emerging. But again, like I said, we can see the focus of this serum: a healthy microbiome, a healthy skin barrier. So the texture is a creamy emulsion type of texture. This episode of This or That could be called the creamy serum edition, honestly. Everything in this video is chalking up to have quite a similar texture. All that being said, though, while this looks thick when you first get it out of the serum dropper, it actually isn't quite as thick as it first looks. This absorbs into a really nice lighter weight layer on the skin with a good amount of hydration. I mean, the Panthenol, there's a good amount here, and you really feel that on that first application. It really dives in deep. The interesting thing about Panthenol, it definitely gives you that deep hydrated sensation, but it also has this like balancing effect. It's not like oil. It's not even like fully emollient, but it just has this other effect that's not just watery hydration. It's kind of a thickness almost that really kind of helps comfort and just kind of helps like, it feels good on the skin. You know what I mean? So you can feel that at play. Now, all that being said, though, there are emollients, occlusives, and plant oils in the ingredients list, and that is reflected as it absorbs. That first hit is hydration. That second hit is that little bit of moisture. Now, when you looked at the ingredients list, you probably noticed some plant extracts. Here we go again. I just want to quickly point out that there are some extracts in here of banana, melon, rose water. Technically, again, we have a fragrance-free product. It has a smell, and I actually find it kind of pleasant. It's almost like a fruity, powdery smell. You will smell it on application. It will not linger. It is not heavy, and it's not bothersome. Like I said, I kind of like it. I kind of found it pleasant, but like, fragrance free? Technically, there's definitely a scent here. So let's talk about the Make Prem Panthenol Essence. Now, this contains 1.1% of Panthenol. I know it doesn't sound like a lot. And in fact, this is another one where in the marketing material, I think it was claiming 11,000 parts per million, which makes you think 11%. Nope. 1.1% of Panthenol. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but like, hear me out on this one. So we've got basically 1% of Panthenol, and then we have madecassoside in here. Now that is one of the 4 active compounds of centella. And madecassoside is a really, really calming, soothing ingredient. It has fantastic anti-inflammation properties. It's really great at healing the skin. It's got wound healing abilities, which also means that it has some well-aging capabilities too. Can help with collagen stimulation on the skin just a little bit, but really it's absolutely well known for helping to calm down and soothe the skin, reduce redness, and really to promote healing and strengthening up the skin. And then we have ceramide NP, again, a great component for your skin's moisture barrier, and something if your skin is going through dehydration or irritation, it is possible that your barrier is a little bit weakened. So having some ceramide content in there definitely can really help heal up and fortify your skin. So you'll notice this ingredients list is much shorter and much simpler than some by me. We don't have any of those plant extracts here. And that actually means that I find this to be truly a fragrance-free product. Now the texture here is really interesting because again, we have that creamy emulsion-y type of texture. And even though the Panthenol is less in here, you still get that effect. You get that kind of like that hydration effect. I love that about Panthenol. It really gets deep and really replenishes your skin. This is not watery hydration that sits on top. It gets in there. Love that about Panthenol. You'll feel that. And then you get that balance that I was talking about before with Panthenol too, that really feels kind of comforting on your skin, especially if it is a little bit irritated and ailing. And this does have its own moisture to it, but it is not an oil type of moisture. It is not a rich type of moisture. It is that balancing type of moisture. And I know sometimes those words don't always sound different, but with Some by Me, there was a rich slip to it. There was like a little bit of that plant oil that I could feel in the texture itself. You don't get that feeling with this. It's creamy, but it's not greasy. It's silky, but it's not rich. So this or that. And I have to say this one was really hard for me because I actually really deeply enjoy both of these. And so picking just one winner is super hard. They are both Panthenol focused serums, but in my testing period, I really do feel like the point of view of each serum is actually slightly different. They're both using the same star ingredient, but what's really interesting is Some by Me really is setting themselves up as a barrier strengthening serum. Not only are they using a good amount of Panthenol, but they're also using the beta-sitosterol, which is that cholesterol-like ingredient with all of the ceramides in here with the phytosphingosine and then the skin microbiome enhancing ingredients, right? This really is a serum that's focused on keeping your skin healthy and strong. Now, I feel like Make Prem is really targeting this serum towards people who have very sensitive, very reactive, or very irritated skin, because their point of view is using the soothing anti-inflammation benefits of the Panthenol with the hydration, marrying it with the madecassoside. And I think that's really the key here, the madecassoside, that anti-irritation, anti-inflammation ingredient, so soothing. Really an amazing combination with Panthenol if your skin is ailing. So this or that. If you are looking for a barrier strengthening Panthenol focused serum and you don't mind a little light scent in your skincare, go for Some by Me. This is a really interesting formulation that really hits all the marks when it comes to really healthy and strong skin. But if you are looking for a Panthenol serum to soothe your skin, if your skin is highly reactive or you're currently going through a period of irritation and you just need something really comforting, soothing, and extremely gentle on the skin, then I think that Make Prem is going to be the better choice for you. So I hope you really loved this edition of This or That. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what you want to see on episode 27. Can you believe we've done so many episodes already? Now, if you loved this format of video, you love skincare, you made it all the way to the end of the video, you haven't hit subscribe, hold up. Don't go. One more second of your time, please. I would love it if you would hit subscribe before you go. I release a lot of new skincare content throughout the week. I do long form videos and I do shorts, so turn on notifications so you're never out of the loop. I'd love to have you here. I love you so, so much. Thanks for being here with me today. Thanks for making 26 episodes of This or That possible. I hope you are healthy, happy, and safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.